Denise.
Hey, I'm still going to be late, but I wanted to at least show up for 5 seconds to tell you, hey, I'm driving around with my kids, and I'll be back at my house in about half an hour.
Okay.
It was not planned or anything, but I did bring you a guest. Is he in the room?
Yeah, he's down there. We've already talked a little bit.
Yeah, so my guest tonight that I brought on for you is Keith Ottersberg. He is a friend of mine, and he is very knowledgeable of the paranormal as well as a lot of other things. But I know I'm going to lose you on this road. I'm on US 60, or well, Kansas 68. It's not that great.
Right.
So, I brought him on because I thought, hey, this is another perspective on the paranormal, and he's got a lot to share. Him and his ex-wife were on the Dead Files for their home being haunted, and not only was his home haunted, he had a major attachment that did not go away until after the show.
Oh, really?
So if you guys have questions about attachments and things like that, he's great. He's also on a team that helps out people from the show that are on the Dead Files, as well as other people. I've even called him to help some people down in Wichita. Well, they were in Wichita, but now they're back in Vegas. But long story there. But he was one of the people that I contacted to help out my husband's cousin's neighbor. So don't keep track of this. It's not that easy. So Keith is a great friend. I was on his show last night. He's been on the Paranormal Pride before a couple times. One time on a panel, and another time just him. And like I said, I thought that the listeners would enjoy this, and they would have lots of questions for him.
Right. Well, we'll bring him up on there. Well, I still got you on there a little bit. So
actually, I got to go. I'm at Sonic now. I got to order ice cream for the other kids to take to the game. So long thing. Hey, Keith, I'll see you guys in about half an hour.
Sounds good.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, she's got to run the kids around, the grandkids, and all that. And
understand, in there.
But no, it's great to have you on the show and everything. And
great to be here.
Tell the people out there listening, because we got Irene in here. She's from Tokyo, Japan.
Oh,
we go worldwide over here on the Bill of Rights Network.
There we go. That sounds awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So tell the people a little bit about yourself. And
okay. Like I said, Keith Ottersberg. I'm from Lymore, Nebraska, originally from Beatrice. Was on city council down here for about 6.5 years. So you got to kind of look at both sides of a lot of different things. So, and you got to use that in the paranormal as well. I run a team called Cobra Paranormal here in Nebraska. And then I'm also a full member of the Spirit Mechanics. And that is the team that Amy from the Dead Files sent up to help me. I spent like a 2-year, training probation period on, and just this year at Scarefest, I got my full mechanics ship. So awesome. I help them, and we help on Dead Files cases. And then I also got another team that I help once in a while on some of these bigger Dead Files cases and bigger cases. I do a show called The Otter's Den on Monday nights. Every other Monday night, me and Joni Temple Skinner, she's an astrologer. She kind of lays down the astrology of what's going on individually, government-wise, world-wise, and she's usually spot on the money. So that's always interesting. And then on off nights, I have guests like Denise come on and talk a little bit and get them thrown out there. So
right.
Where
do you do your shows at?
Facebook Live. I use StreamYard like you, and I stream to the Otter's Den page, Cobra Paranormal, and then a page called Free Spirited. I've also got a YouTube channel, but it wasn't doing nothing, so
Hi, Luke and Jeffrey over there in the chat room. He's from the UK. Like
hey, thanks, Jeff.
We get them out all over the place over here on our network.
I understand. Happy Paranormal Day, everybody.
Yes, that's right. And as Irene says, it's Children's Day to all children in Japan.
Nice. Nice. Happy Children's Day.
And she says, why do we have that day? Because children used to die for fever and illness. To prevent that, the samurai made Children Day. Wow. That's
That's
interesting.
that's nice.
That's why I said, man, we get a lot of people in our chat room that put stuff in from
Sure.
all over the United States, all over the world that we get out. Where right now we're broadcasting on the Billerites Network, we're
Okay.
broadcasting on Things Network, and we're broadcasting over on Prometheus Productions page.
Okay.
So we get out and everything, all our shows do around here. But
Gotcha.
yeah, well, that's cool with the Dead Files and everything like that. Denise said, now you were one of the people on the Dead Files or that show, wasn't you?
Yeah.
That had a spirit attachment. What was that about?
Yeah. There's a little bit more than an attachment. I've been plagued with the paranormal since I was 6 years old. Very traumatic experience at 6. And ever since then, I always had issues. Every house we moved into had issues. It seemed like, something was following me around, but every house as a kid we moved into, there were hauntings. After I moved out, got married, had kids, every house we moved into had issues. It's like I was drawn to these places for some odd reason. And we finally figured out why. But I mean, it would get bad. It would affect not only me, but my spouse, my kids, friends, family, and I finally wanted to figure out what the heck was going on. So I started contacting some local paranormal teams to come in and investigate. Naturally, we caught doorknobs opening by themselves and the door opening. We got EVPs, Class B, Class A, a lot of different evidence, but nobody could tell me why all this was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved, and everything was great. But back up a minute. When we first looked at the house I currently own, we walked in. We couldn't stand it. We had to get out of there. Could not stand to be in that house. A different realtor talked us into looking at it a couple months later. We walked in. We fell in love with it. We had to have it. So we made it happen. And everything, once we moved, everything was good. And then slowly the paranormal issues started kicking in. Like a crescendo grew until pretty much all hell broke loose.
Mm-hmm.
It was a perfect storm the way this all happened. So when I was still in Beatrice, I started reaching out to the Dead Files. I was looking for some kind of major help. I wanted help. And I looked at all the different shows. And something just called out, I got to get the Dead Files. So I called. Finally, they started emailing me back. They started calling me back. It took 2 to 3 years to get something lined up. And we were this close. And then all of a sudden the activity stopped, just flatlined. And they had some other cases where they had children involved. So I'm like, dude, go. That's more important.
Right.
We're okay for right now. Like I said, in the meantime, it picked back up again. We moved. Everything was cool. Everything started happening again. I get back a hold of them. And that producer got switched to another show. So I had to start all over.
Oh, man.
Process. So it took probably 4 or 5 years before I finally got a yes. We're going to come see you. And they vet very, very well. They make sure, you're not having any issues due to prescription meds, psychological issues. I was pretty impressed with that. And so the day came and, Steve came down and met him and we started filming and it was pretty interesting. Him and the production crew are not used to things happening while they're filming. And, we were in the garage and it sounded like a shelf got thrown, tools and everything. And nothing moved. Stuff was getting thrown, and Steve, the crew, they just froze. They're like, "What the was?" I'm like, "Dude, I've been telling you this stuff happens. This is what I told you happens here in the garage. You now get to see it." And then we were in the basement, and I'm standing there talking to Steve, and all of a sudden, the scratch forms on my neck, and she's like, "What?" And again, everybody just froze. I'm like, yeah, it's a thing. Just come on, guys, let's keep going. You know, if I got this, you got this. Let's go. And then Amy came and did her walk, and I actually locked her twice from reading. She had to start over. That's a long story, but they decided that, yeah, there is enough activity there to warrant the show. They had witnesses come up, and we had enough to fill the show up, but they didn't even use any of the witnesses. We had enough evidence and enough stuff to do the whole show without witnesses.
Right.
And Amy, I was sitting at the table in the living room with Steve and Shannon, my wife at the time, and Amy comes down, and the look of horror on her face when she looked at me scared me. I'm like, oh, that evidently tells a story. She knew what the issue was since she laid eyes on me. So we did, film the reveal and everything, and Steve did his thing, showed his pictures, and Amy did her thing and showed her pictures. And after we wrapped that up, she got right on the horn to the spirit mechanics. When can you get up here? When do you need us? Now. So it was probably a good 4 or 5 months before we could get everything lined up. And in the meantime, Shannon left. Amy actually told her, you need to go, you need to leave. Because like I said, things were bad. And Shannon wasn't strong enough to stay in the house by herself. I was. However, it was a nightmare. Still dealing with the traumatic stuff from previous stuff. And then here I am all alone for the first time in my life. I'd never lived alone before. Found out I had a deathly fear of being alone, which I've kicked since then. But, I've got, you walk in the bedroom, close the door, lay down and go to bed, and something comes up and just pounds on the door, and the door flies open, and 3 big scratches down it, about 1/8 of an inch deep. I got drug out of bed by my neck and my hair, drugged down the basement stairs, thrown on the living room floor. That this was not fun.
No.
I've been held up against the wall with my feet off the ground, getting choked out. I still got, it's hard to see on camera, but I still got red marks right here and right here from the thumb and the finger. Those haven't went away. It's been about 15 years. Scratches, burns, getting pushed up downstairs, stuff thrown at me. It was an experience. And finally, the mechanics got up here, and they came in and cleansed the home, cleansed the land, and then it was my turn. And Steve pulled this basically second level, I'm not going to say the word, but you know what I'm talking about, out of me. And that was an interesting situation as well, because that night I lost memories. Like 3/4 of my life was gone. I woke up, thought I was still married to my first wife, thought my kids were still supposed to be living with me. It took a few days to get, things rolling in here. And so that's when my growth started. I got to look in the mirror and realize, you know what? You were not a nice person back in the day. And let's do some work on that. So I've done a lot of soul searching, a lot of shadow work, a couple of dark nights of the soul in there too, I've grown and learned a lot. And as I would make breakthroughs, all of a sudden this flood of memories would come back. It's like spirit saying, here, you did good. Attaboy. So, and I'm still getting memories back. It's kind of nice. But then here recently, we had a house fire and lost everything. And that was an interesting situation as well, in the Dead Files house. And again, when we were filming, Steve and Amy kept telling me, you got to move. I'm like, no, ain't doing it. They're like, you're willing to give up your relationship here to save the house? I'm like, this is what you don't understand. It follows. We move, it's going to come to. And I finally figured out why. It was that thing in me. So I got to keep the house, and I had to work a lot. When you're that used to all the negativity and that kind of negative energy, it's kind of like an addict. What happens when you pull a drug away from an addict? They want more of it.
Yep.
And so it was difficult not to pull things back in. Steve was really handy with the aftercare and helping me with that, and still clean. But then when we had the fire, all that the negativity from families before me, everything, it was all released, and everything in town. Wymore's a very haunted town. I mean, it's just like everything just swarmed. So I had to clean it out again, clean all the energy back. Like I said, to the day it was built. Energy gets absorbed into paint, wood, flooring, wallboard. It gets embedded, and all that had to come out. So now I have a great big hole. You open the front door, there's the basement, and there's a roof.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to rebuild that house. That house kind of saved me. Now I get to save the house. And so this is twice I get to fight to save it. So it's been a long journey.
Oh, man.
It's been an interesting life.
Yeah. And this is just all came about in what, the last few years?
Car accident. I got some injuries up here. So time really doesn't make sense to me. It's weird, but it's been about 4 years since the mechanics were up here.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been free from it for about 4 years.
Wow. That's really amazing and everything. And now you're part of the mechanics.
Yeah. Now I get to go out and help people that were like me. And it's phenomenal. I mean, I almost choke up when I think about it. It's an awesome gift from Spirit.
Now, how many mechanics are there in this group?
Oh, 6, I think. Let's see. No, wait. 7 or 8. And then there's a couple more trainees.
Right. And where are they based out of?
Can't ever say this word. Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Where they're based out of. So yeah, they came all the way from there up to Nebraska to so that was pretty cool.
Right. And April says she's recovering from a concussion. Oh, sorry to hear that, April.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry to hear that. I've had quite a few of those myself, and it's not fun.
And she's wondering if her fall was spirit related. And it very could be. When Denise gets on here, that's Denise's cousin.
Okay, cool. Nice to meet you.
They live up in Minnesota or Wisconsin now.
Okay.
And they just bought a house that's 100 years old.
Oh, okay. So there could definitely be some energies in there.
Oh, yeah. Could be. Yeah, Denise, that's one thing about Denise. And I've known Denise now for, we figured up the other day, I think 7, almost 8 years.
Okay.
And everything. And, psychic mediums, I always kind of went, yeah, right. Kind of put that off. But around Denise and what I've seen and heard, she's the real deal. Mm-hmm. I mean, when she says she's seen them since she was 4 years old and everything and doing stuff like that. I mean, my mom's came to her and stuff. And when she's on the show, she'll look. I'm in my studio on my back porch, right?
Yeah.
At any given time, there's anywhere between 11 and 17 spirits right here.
They are always around.
Yeah, well, there's what we have found out since I started doing Paranormal Nation radio, about 3-4 years ago and everything, and made this studio back here. These spirits know when I'm going to be live on here because they're not the same spirits all the time.
They rotate,
they go
coming
right through.
Yep.
Somebody will be in the chat room and that spirit will know they're there. They'll show up before they get in the chat room.
Yeah.
We've had that happen many a times with dowsing rods, talking to them and everything like that.
That's one of my favorite tools is dowsing rods.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, good. You and my pastor and us would get along great. We use dowsing rods. See, our cemetery I was telling you about earlier, okay, it sits on top of a hill. It's out in the middle of nowhere. The nice thing is we do a camp out down there.
Okay.
And nobody drives by. It's that far out in the middle of nowhere.
All right.
Okay. But we know of 80 people buried there that's registered and everything, but there's only 58 headstones.
Oh,
But our dowsing rods and the ground lay now this year with all the rain we've had and everything, you can see the indentions
yeah,
in the ground.
yeah. We've got one.
There's there's several hundred.
Oh,
Now, to
now,
give you a little bit more,
okay.
if you know our area down here in Davies and Caldwell County, Missouri, this was the Mormon Wars down here in Missouri.
She mentioned something about that last night on my show.
Right. Okay. Our cemetery, if you go 3 miles as the crow flies east, you're at the Hans Mill Massacre. Okay.
Okay.
Now you go 3 miles south. You heard of the Dimmel brothers, the farmers, cattle farmers from up in Wisconsin that came down here to Bramer, Missouri and got murdered? That's 3 miles south of our cemetery.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of Civil War, a lot of cavalry, Indians. We've had, well, it's so bad out there. We used to go to the sheriff's department and tell them we'd be out there investigating. So if somebody drove by and said there's people out in the cemetery,
Yeah. Good to do.
Yeah. The sheriff's department down there goes, go ahead. We won't be out there. They have seen the horse soldiers. They have seen horses and wagons out there, from sheriffs to deputies. We always joke about it. If you're going to commit murder, do it out there, because sheriff's department won't show up until daylight.
Give you plenty of time to get away.
Yeah, but it's out there. Now, the worst part about this, and we did research on this, there's a gravel road that comes up and goes through the cemetery. Okay. In 1959, there was no gravel road going through this cemetery. It would come up down here, make a hard right, go down, make a hard left, come up, make a hard right, and go past the cemetery.
Okay.
1959, the motor grader guy got tired of making all these rights and left turns. He went right up and went right through. We have big dirt mounds. As it rains, these rock formations come out that look like headstones. So there are graves underneath the road.
And let me guess, there weren't any records that were saved of who was buried where.
No. Then now we got one even better than that. Okay. You got all our old ancestors, the Coxes and the Pickerings and all that on my old way back when and everything and stuff. But there is a headstone right there in the front that says unknown Indian. Right?
Yeah.
Now, this headstone was made, I would roughly say, early 60s. Because it's a modern, not an old, tablet-looking headstone. It's a flat one, engraved, cut into it, and everything, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Stories have flown out about who the unknown Indian is, and everything. The big story is that he showed up at one of my old relatives' farm, went to work, riding on a buckboard, fell off, caught his neck in the wheel, broke his neck. Okay. But recently we had another person on our show, and we was talking about it, and she says there's a baby buried there.
Really?
So whether there is or not, nobody knows.
Right.
But that headstone gets flowers every month put on it. We have caught four-wheelers pulling up and putting flowers on it.
Either some kind of descendant or just somebody that's concerned, I don't know. That's odd.
Or somebody knows something back through the skeletons of the family history and go, ooh, this wasn't right.
Right. They're trying to make it right.
Right. but we have a lot of that out there. Like I said, Denise, the timber that lines the edge of it around there, when the first time she was out there, she seen the Indians in there watching us
Hmm.
while we were out there.
We
Another,
get quite a bit of that up here in
yeah,
Nebraska as well.
another guy with us. There's a big open pasture down on the south side of the cemetery, and he says, "Don't you guys see that battalion of soldiers down there?" And I said, "I don't see crap. I don't have the gift and everything." And he says, "Yeah, they're setting around like campfires and stuff,
Hmm.
like they were there waiting for the Indians, fighting the Indians back and forth."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a trip. We do a lot of it down there, and then we got a lot of houses, and then you're up there. I live in Gallatin, Missouri, is where I
Okay.
live at. We have one of the three squirrel cage jails
Okay.
still left in the United States.
Okay.
And we got one here in town.
We've got one close up here.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's old Jesse James or Frank James used to stay up here and stuff.
Okay.
This was all Frank and Jesse James's runaround
All right.
area. Here in Gallatin is the bank where they robbed and shot the guy and killed him in it and
Okay.
stuff. So yeah, we have a lot of history up in this area that you know. But back like you said, dowsing rods. We when we do tours and stuff like that, we always show the people the dowsing rods. And it's amazing how many people are what we call negative grounded
Okay.
that the dowsing rods don't work for. Have you seen that?
I haven't yet.
You haven't.
No.
What we do is we hold the dowsing rod straight out and you go walking towards the person. When you get to that person, as you closer you get, they should cross.
Yeah.
If they don't cross, they're negative grounded.
Okay.
You can put the rods in their hand, have them stand in water, and ask to find water, and then rods won't move.
Interesting.
Yeah, try that sometime. Different people. I mean, it could be anybody. Not everybody is what we call positive grounded.
Okay.
But then what's really cool, and we found this out, we had one of our church members that was negative grounded, right? We've got a drain that was in our church, right? On the concrete.
Hmm.
And we could walk across it and ask for it and it'd cross just
Yeah.
as we got there, right? Got there. He'd walk across straight back and forth,
Nothing
straight back and forth. But Pastor Gary could put his hand on his shoulder and have him walk up there. And as soon as he got there, it'd cross.
Then, yeah.
Yeah, you're putting energy into the person.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. And when I do it on the show here with my dowsing rods, I hold them down. When they cross, they had to come up.
Yeah, that it's not just gravity or you twisting your wrist. That
No.
is actual energy. There's no other way to explain that.
Right. Well, when I hold mine, I hold it to where it's in the finger and it's right here. In
Okay.
order to move it, I have to
Yeah.
do that.
Right.
Right. But yeah, I hold them down like this, and I'll have people ask questions in the chat room. I won't even read it, and the dowsing rods will react to it.
That's phenomenal. I like that.
Yeah, try that on your show sometime.
I may
I
do
mean,
that.
it's there. Now, when you go out to investigate, do you use spirit boxes or apps or anything like that?
We have. If we just go like investigate a like squirrel cage jail or something like that,
Right.
we'll take our equipment in, voice recorders, stuff like that, and see what kind of evidence we can get. It's good practice for when we're helping clients. We mainly help private individuals and families.
Right.
But like I said, it is good practice to go to the public places once in a while.
Oh yeah.
And when we're dealing with a private family or what have you, we'll do what they want. If they want us to go in and get evidence to, so they know they're not crazy, we'll go in, do the thing, get the evidence, go home, go over it, go back, say, okay, here,
Mm-hmm.
there's your evidence. Now, what do you want to do?
Right.
You know, do you want to take care of it? Do you want to live with it? Do you want it gone? Do you want to move? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
We make them make that decision, because if people don't actually want the help, you're not going to help them.
No, you're not.
You can remove the paranormal issues for years, and they're going to keep inviting it back in.
Exactly. Exactly.
And if they don't do what you tell them they need to do on a continuous basis, you know, smudge the house on this new moon, that full moon, give this offering, you know, out here to these natives twice a year on this date and this date, you know, they'll give you peace. Then, you know, if you don't follow through, that's just like, you know, with Amy and the Death Files. If the clients don't follow through with her instructions, they're not going to get the help.
Right.
You have to follow through. So other times, if they just want it gone, we just go in. We don't take any equipment other than maybe a voice recorder, so we can, you know, write everything down later. And we go in. We use our gifts. We cleanse the house. We cleanse the land. We cleanse the individuals, and then we help them with the aftercare. You know, because it's a lot of times. Let me think how to put this. We can cleanse the paranormal, but we are not therapists. We're not psychotherapists. We're not psychologists. We've been through a lot. We know a lot. We can't help you. But when it comes right down to it, that family may need therapy. You know, enough may have happened between the individuals in that family. They may need therapy. And if they don't get that, you know, there's not much we can do. We can do our best to help. But in the end, it's, you know, that family has to want to do that. They have to want.
Right. They've got to want to.
Yeah.
If they decide they want everything gone,
Yeah.
they have to decide it. You can't decide it for them.
Right. Right.
And stuff, because it'll never work that way. We all know that.
Yeah.
We had a group. Well, we had a lady call us and everything, and she was telling us this, and I set up a deal to went down to do a pre-interview with her. Came back, talked to Pastor Gary and everything. Said, okay, we'll go check the house out and everything. We walked down there. Her and her husband meet us at the door. They look around and go, "Where's all the TV cameras?" And I went, "What TV cameras? Well, aren't we going to be on a show?" And I went, "No.
Yeah.
You know, we're here to find out what you got." "Oh, well, we don't need you." And I went, "Okay, no problem. You have my card. Give me a holler."
Yeah. There are some people out there that simply want to get on TV, and that's it. They don't want the attention.
Right.
And some of them don't want the help because they're getting attention due to the paranormal issues. And if the paranormal issues go away, they don't have that attention anymore. So, you know, if that's what they're craving, why would they want the help?
Right, right, exactly right. I mean, it's like you said, they've got to want to have it changed.
Yeah.
And
Looks like Jailbird's got a question down here at the bottom at 529.
Yeah. It says, so if you're not negative grounded, are you likely to get struck by lightning? She's asking a serious question. She lives in Florida.
Okay, yeah. That is a good question. I don't know.
I would say you got as much chance of getting hit by lightning as I do.
Either way, yeah, because I mean, you know,
your feet's on the ground.
Yeah.
So you're grounded one way or the other, but your physical energy. And one thing I know, using dowsing rods, and you can probably testify to this, if you go in to investigate or something and you're using the dowsing rods and you've had a full rest and you're ready to go, dowsing rods will work great.
Yeah.
But if you worked all day and you're dead tired and you're dragging, you get up there, your energy, them things go like that.
Spirits work through you. So it does depend on how much energy you have, how much energy they have.
Right.
Yes.
And sometimes, and you can tell the difference in your energy levels. You can ask a question and they'll go slam.
Yeah. Yes.
You know? And that's another thing about dowsing rods is that unknown Indian grave. We walk over there with dowsing rods, cameras, or anything. The cameras go dead immediately.
Bad drain?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we're walking 15 feet from putting brand new ones in.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The dowsing rods, one of my team members, first time he went down there with us, we showing him how to use dowsing rods. He walks over there and they cross like this, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going, okay, tell them to separate, tell them it's okay. They didn't move. He had to physically move his arms like that to get him. And he goes, what was that? And I went, same thing, it's draining our batteries.
What were those rods made? What material were they made out of? Were they copper, steel?
They were copper.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no magnetism there then.
No,
Okay.
none whatsoever. But
I
yeah,
was thinking if they were steel or something, there might be an anomaly in the ground, a magnetic anomaly causing that, and the battery.
exactly.
Just trying to figure it out logically.
Oh yeah, we went through everything trying to check this, but I had my infrared camera, fully charged battery, plug it in, fully charged, walk 15 feet, dead.
Yep.
Went back over to the truck, took it off, put another battery on, walked over there 15 feet, went dead. Went back, put that battery I had on it, put back on, it was fully charged.
Yeah, it's like it drained it right there. It's pulling everything out of it, but when you got so far away, it couldn't pull anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the battery came back up. I've had that happen.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. But we use a lot of times EchoBox 3, the app,
Okay.
and Necrophonics because we have taken those apart and broke them down. There's no words in them. They can't make a word.
Okay.
And everything. Denise will testify to that one and everything. That's what she does her job, data and stuff. And she took them apart to see, and there's none in there. And we get full sentences out of them.
Yeah.
And that's why we use a lot of them. The PSB7, I can't stand it. The scratchy noise gives me a headache.
Yeah, the white noise. I actually built a portal box, and it's a Lunchbox Junior amp with a noise reduction pedal and echo pedal, and I can take that static out.
Right.
And then I can handle using that. But and sitting here going over an audio recording, looking for evidence with that static, I can't do it. I can't do it.
When that thing's sitting there going, you're tuned to listening to that. When it says something, that's another thing. I have a problem with PSB 7s and 11s and all that. They're scanning radio frequencies. Okay. I could believe more into it if you had a room set up and you got 100 radio stations around there, right?
Yep.
I want a tape recorder put on every radio station with a timer. Somebody sitting there, timing and everything, listening to it. Now you go out and investigate in the same area using your scanner, and it says a word, document the time it says it. Now go back in and see if that word was said anywhere on those stations.
Yeah, because we have had bits of radio come through, and it takes a bit to be able to audibly just know that's radio. Okay,
right.
That's radio. Oh, look, guitar. So yeah, it takes a lot of experience to be able to use those.
I'll be right back.
Absolutely. Hello, Renee. Glad to see you made it. Favorite piece of equipment and favorite case. And I don't know if he's got me on mute or not, but I'm going to be talking anyway. I think my favorite piece of equipment is just my audio recorder.
All right.
And he's back.
Yeah, I'm back now. My
No
wife
problem.
came in and tell me something. So
yeah, absolutely. No problem.
Okay, we got Denise down here, so we'll bring her up.
Perfect. Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Oh, yeah. Help her.
I have my little co-host here.
I'll be right back, Denise.
This is Clover.
Hi, Clover.
She is the 1-year-old we were talking about last night that's been sick.
Okay.
So
yeah,
she just woke up and she wants her grandma, and grandpa's coming. So, but
all righty.
Yeah, they're in my car.
In your car over there. I'll be bringing it back. Sorry.
That's okay.
So did you guys have a good time talking so far?
Yeah, it's been real interesting. He was going over some of the places that you guys have down there, the graveyards and the history of them, and fascinating.
That graveyard is just really
very interesting.
It's an enigma.
Yeah, especially the one with the
unknown Indian.
Yes. Yeah, I would like to investigate that sometime with
Cheryl. Cheryl Ann's coming down next month.
Is she?
This month to do it.
Okay.
So
yeah, awesome gal. Know her well.
Yeah, I know you do. So she's a good friend to have around. And I've had her on here, and everybody liked her. So
yeah.
So do you have any events that you're going to this year?
Yeah, Scarefest in October. I will be there with the Spirit Mechanics doing the thing. We are doing New Jersey Paracon, the Para-Unity event up there in July. So we will be there with representing the Spirit Mechanics, and again, with Amy Allen. Amy's going to be there from the Dead Files. So that's going to be phenomenal. If you can get out there, come on up.
Where is it in New Jersey?
Woodbridge.
I used to live in Patterson.
Okay.
So, I mean, remember the story I was telling you about the out-of-body experience when I was 4?
Yeah.
That's where that was. That's where I lived then.
Okay.
Was there, and I lived there until I was 8 years old. Haven't been there since I was 14. So it's different. I mean, if you've never been to the East Coast, New Jersey is very East Coasty.
Yeah, I was there once.
Yeah.
So
I survived multiple ice storms out there.
Yeah, I can see that, with all the moist air coming off the lakes and the oceans and coming up and in, and yeah.
Yeah, we were far enough inland where we didn't have to deal with a lot of that kind of stuff. Here, go chase Grandpa.
There you go.
So it's a nice place. And then the Scarefest is in Lexington, which from here, for people who are keeping track from Kansas, is about 9 hours.
Yeah, it's about 12 for me.
Yeah. I know 64 like I know the back of my hand.
There you go.
I really do. I did it for over 30 years, going to see my mother. So the baby found a chair that she's not supposed to be in. So, but there's some really neat places around there if you get away.
I'm driving out, so that means driving back, and I don't have a job or anything that I have to rush back to. So I'm doing a little sightseeing.
So I would go off in Frankfort, Kentucky, and check out the Buffalo Trace Distillery. Yeah, keep notes. I know this stuff. So Buffalo Trace Distillery is in Frankfort, Kentucky. You can take the first exit or the second exit for Frankfort.
Okay.
It's also haunted, and they give tours for free.
Nice.
And the basic tour is every hour on the hour.
Perfect.
And you just show up. But if you go to their website, you can see what other tours they have.
Okay.
And their hard hat tour is really good. It's a little bit longer. And at the end, you get to see some spirits in the bottle that you get to taste.
Nice.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
And on that same exit, instead of going north, you go south, is on this really scary road is the Old Crow Distillery. It is now Glens Creek Distilling. It was we've been there twice, and the master distiller, we met 2 master distillers there, and plus the owner. It was actually on Ghost Asylum, and it was on Destination Fear.
Okay.
They walked us around, and they have really good bourbon. Ron's got some of it. And like I said, owner's really nice. We spent about, on my birthday, we spent about 5 or 6 hours with him.
Nice.
Just talking about bourbon. So we chase both spirits, the kind in a bottle and the kind outside of it.
Nothing wrong with that.
And the distilleries are just beautiful. And if you keep going down that road, the next distillery you come across is the old Taylor Distillery, which is now Castle and Key. I don't know anything about it other than she is a woman master distiller. They make gin and all this other stuff, and it's beautiful. I mean, I haven't been on the grounds, but they were building it up when we went by.
Yeah.
We want to go really bad, and then keep on going down the road, and you got Woodford Reserve. Is it haunted? No, but it's pretty. So,
okay.
But it's if you get down further, then you've got the Four Roses Distillery. So, like I said, I can take you on a bourbon tour, easy, just in that area. So, but that is, if you do anything, Buffalo Trace is A1.
Okay.
I love going there. We go every single time. If you get there on the right day, if you're a big bourbon drinker and you like Blanton's, it's $60 there.
Okay.
Stores are marking it up to $160. I saw in Vegas.
Wow.
The MSRP on it is $60.
Okay.
If they have it, you can buy. They'll let you buy one.
Okay, I got you.
So if you do it. Just remember, it's one of those things that everybody wants, and you can't get at the store anymore. Okay. But there's in Lexington, there's one called Alltech, not haunted, but interesting. They make bourbon barrel beer.
Oh, okay.
And they also make Town Branch bourbon, and they make a coffee liqueur.
Oh,
if you like coffee.
Yes.
But Buffalo Trace is the bourbon cream. Bourbon cream is excellent, I hear, in coffee, but I don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
So
I drink coffee, but I don't drink bourbon.
Oh, well, bourbon cream is, I used to not drink bourbon. I started with bourbon cream.
Okay, I got you.
And I love it. And that was the reason that I started going to Buffalo Trace, was we went on a ghost tour there. Uh-huh. We saw it on Turtle Man and Ghost Adventures.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, shit, this is right off the road. I'm going to Mom's, Yeah. So we went on their ghost tour, was their first tour I took with the kids. And ever since then, every trip out there, we stop. I'll take a tour, even if it's the same tour I've taken 5 times. I've taken the ghost tour 3 times. They don't like me. If I tell them I see something, they just keep on going. I'll go, I saw this. And, usually when you're a tour guide, you want them to participate.
Absolutely.
And to give you feedback on what they're seeing, especially if you have a sensitive, a medium, or anything in the room, in the area. And I'm in the Rick house, and I see somebody go by, 7:00 at night. Nobody's working, because they shut down at 5, and the ghost tours are 7, 8, and 9.
Okay.
And there's nobody in there. And I say something about it, and the lady goes, basically she poo-pooed me. And it's like, I mean, I was kind of pissed.
I get it.
So, but I can tell you everything about that place only because of the fact that we go so much. And there's some really good, really cheap, good family-owned hotels. And the good news is you're not going during the largest garage sale in history. That you can't even get a room in any hotel in the area.
I bet.
In Corydon, Indiana, there is a bed and breakfast there that is haunted in their downtown area. I got to figure out, you just look it up and it'll tell you. It's been there since Corydon, Indiana was the first capital of Indiana.
Okay.
So you can just look up bed and breakfast in downtown Corydon. There's also Butt Drugs. Okay. BUTT Drugs. It's a drugstore.
Okay.
Everybody goes there for the photo op because it's butt drugs.
Right.
And
it caught me off guard. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they have a thing in there. Everybody wants to be a fanny for, instead of a fan on Facebook. Everyone was Fanny. And there's an old commercial that they did about ample parking in the rear and all kinds of other stuff. So they plays on words. So if you're into sarcasm, that's the place to go.
Okay, I got it written down.
And then Shireman's Market, you go right by it. They have the best frozen treats. They make their own.
Sold out.
They freeze them now in bars.
Oh.
So they make them in little ice cream bars now, but they used to make the best soft serve peach ice cream. So
that sounds good.
So those are a lot of the places that we stop, just because it's interesting. Because by the time you get to Corydon, Indiana, it's time to get out of the car.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's time to get out. And there's this really nice kid that works at the Walmart there that anytime I went in there, he walks up to me and he hugs me. He goes, "It's been so long since I've seen you." And it's been, he remembers me every time. And he's special needs.
Oh, okay.
So,
that's still cool,
Yeah, it's just weird.
He got a good memory.
He has a really good memory. And the thing is I don't go into that Walmart a lot. It was like 6 years between the first time I met him and the second time.
Okay.
And I was like, how do you know? So, but and all those places I gave you are no more than 10 miles off of 64.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to drive too far to check out anything. Woodford is about 25, but if you go the one way, you'll have a good time. And you got to watch her in that chair.
Okay. We've got some. I got an event coming up May 6th at McIntyre Villa. Fundraiser there, so I'll be there. That is an awesome place, very active. We talked a little bit about that last night. And then my team has kind of taken Cobra Paranormal has taken a hiatus for about a year. One of our members had some medical issues to take care of. I myself had, the house fire to take care of. So we're slowly starting to get regrouped, revamped. So we're going to start just going out and doing some local things here so we can, get used to each other's energies and mannerisms again. We go on a case. We know if something's affecting one of us and say, okay, let's go outside for right now.
Right.
We'll be advertising those and hitting some local things here pretty soon. So, and again, the Stevenson building here in downtown Wymore, phenomenal. They'll be getting that back up and running here pretty soon. And I'm looking at some different aspects on a couple different things. So,
yeah, because I know that we want to go to that Stevenson building because you told us about it a long time ago.
Yeah,
before it ever made TV or anything like that.
Yeah, they haven't been doing a whole lot with it, but I got a feeling that's going to change here pretty soon. So.
Well, since it's been on TV, the weather up there is questionable in the wintertime.
Oh, absolutely. And when they do get it going, as a bonus, if you pay to investigate that, you can come and take a tour of the Dead Files house. I mean, there's not much to tour right now, but
stand at it and go. Don't step forward. That first step's a doozy.
Yeah.
You want to be the next house ghost? This is the place to go.
Yeah, straight down.
Yeah, when we first started doing tours at the Sally house, they wouldn't let people in the basement. And the stairs were questionable at best when we first started doing it.
Oh, it's a safety issue.
The bottom 3 steps didn't really exist back then.
Okay.
And people would go, well, why can't we go in the basement? I said, the stairs are rickety. I said, and we don't need any more ghosts. And so it fit. and it really did stop them from asking when I told them. I said, look at those stairs. Do you really want to go down them stairs?
Yeah.
So
I'm
going to get rid of a chair real quick.
Okay. No problem.
Okay. Here's a question.
First question.
Yeah. Luke says, I got a question. When you go to a place to help someone, is it always the same process or are there easy and hard jobs? Like, how does that work?
We have found that every investigation that we go to, especially, with private individuals, every situation is different. It's a different property. It's different energies from the living people. It's different energies from whoever is there. Sometimes you have human entities, sometimes elemental, sometimes fae that you're dealing with, sometimes native. So it all depends on what has transpired between the living and the non-living.
Right.
We treat each individual case differently. We go in, we talk to them, we vet them. Okay, yeah, they really got issues. Let's help them. And we kind of have a plan already in place before we go in. But yeah, every place is different.
Right. Everything is different. Every spirits are different.
Yeah.
I mean, the energy levels in different places, spirit presents itself as it wants to be presented. And some places it might be nice.
Yeah.
Other places it's not so nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah, she sees me now. She finally seen me. She started waving.
There you go.
Yep.
Hi, Clover.
Hi. Oh,
April, no, it did not come from a spirit.
it's just klutzy.
It's a family thing.
3:30 in the morning. That'll
April in the chat is my cousin.
halfway asleep.
Right.
Yep.
And that's when you fall.
So there you go.
Mm.
So okay, so what?
Oh,
Yeah. She loves Cheetos.
Who doesn't?
I know. Mommy and Daddy doesn't let her have them, and I bring her home and she's covered in crap.
hey,
Grandma's house. Spoil them.
exactly.
Fill them full of
Grandma's
sugar
right.
and let them go.
The thing but they never go back. That's the problem.
Uh-huh.
They're always here.
It was always supposed to be you can spoil them, but they got to go home.
Right, but
Sometimes that don't work.
We spoil them and they never leave.
Yeah,
Yep.
been there, done that.
Jeff, what kind of a collection do you have? I've been kind of watching your comments. You got me curious.
His collection.
Okay.
Jeffrey there is from the UK. That's Luke.
Yes,
Okay.
April.
Okay. He has
here?
a lot of old European weapons,
Oh, yeah. That's
artifacts and stuff like that.
Okay. Liking it.
Yeah. He'll be over here before long.
Nice.
Maybe.
Jeez. I thought he's here
I just want to see him get out of the damn airport.
Oh, he's supposed to be coming over here with his lawyer.
Just come in through Mexico like everyone
That's
else.
what we told him.
I'm not kidding either. Just walk in.
Yeah. Once you get in, you're good to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll even get benefits for free.
Keith, to give you an idea,
The words out of my mouth.
Luke is a friend of ours here on the network and everything, and he lives in the UK.
Okay.
He's also a United States citizen.
Okay.
He took his citizenship a year and a half ago.
Okay. Nice.
He
Congratulations.
flew from there. Well, first of all, he flew to Canada during the pandemic, and they flew him back. Then he landed in JFK, got off, went up there. They wouldn't let him into the United States because he's not in the system.
Oh.
So they flew him back. He hasn't got his passport yet.
Man, that would be tough.
Yeah. We had him on our show last night and everything. He was talking about the convention in Scotland. That was interesting. Real interesting. He's a IT internet techie guy.
Okay.
Is he a hacker?
Yeah.
So he does security.
Yes, he does security.
Or anti-security.
He's one of the white hackers.
Okay.
The company calls them and says, break into our system and tell us what's wrong with it.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. Yeah, that's Luke.
Cool.
And everything. But he's big into the Second Amendment and all this and that for the United States and over there. But he actually rebuilds tanks.
That would be sweet.
Well, when he comes to the United States, he's got a house in Texas and he's wanting to buy one up here. He wants to start rebuilding tanks. He says, you'd be surprised how many tanks are for sale in the U.S.
You can find them.
Yeah, they're all over the place. And you know you can make them road legal.
Really?
Yeah. Plug the barrel. Put brake lights and turn signals on them and headlights.
Yeah.
I could do that.
I
Oh,
just feel
okay.
like,
Here you go. I'm gonna
I
put
just
this
feel
up on
like
the screen.
I just feel like Luke has because of all this stuff that he has some attachments to these weapons that may not have been the previous owners. It could be some of the people that the weapons killed. Could be
Not
both.
wrong. Not wrong. Look at Sarah Winchester. You know,
I just feel like there's some negative energy. Well, I know that. Let's go with the obvious. There's negative energy in weapons that were used to kill people.
Right.
Period.
You see the comment?
Yeah, I did.
yeah.
It's up from
Sounds
one
like
of his
somebody
World War I German gas masks.
Maybe
Wow.
that mask failed and that person passed, and that was the noises coming out of that mask when they passed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
screams in the middle of the night.
So
I think it's residual. I think that's just residual. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't think it's
echo. We call them echoes now. Yeah,
so. Yeah. Hey, you know what? We changed the name of every damn thing.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, I can't put in one of my reports, I can't put rejected. I have to use not approved.
Don't.
You know,
man.
Might
so like
offend
I said,
somebody.
yeah, we have to do stuff that's not going to be offensive. So it's annoying. So, but so for me, it's residual.
You can't use the words, take them out of the dictionary.
Well, yeah, we're not going to go there because the pandemic changed a lot of those things. Herd immunity.
Did it?
Yeah.
They changed herd immunity from 60% to 92%. And I was like, no. So, in April, the answer to your question is yes. I still feel like your house is positive. It's just that there's some chaos in your house, and that's probably. I mean, with 7 boys, there's always chaos.
that'll. How often does she smudge?
I don't think that's the best solution, but she doesn't have anything negative there. It's just she's got 7 boys.
You can also smudge just to clear out the energies of the 7 boys. It's good to keep that home clear. If they're in there at each other's throats, that's negativity going out into the home. And
Yeah, I'm more
that out.
with my family. I'm more of, I tell them that I prefer that they utilize lilac,
Okay.
because with lilac, it creates positive energy. You
Sure.
don't have to take away the energy to put in new energy. It just changes everything to positive, spring. Or Palo Santo wood.
Yeah,
One time you're done. You don't have to smudge and then put in sweetgrass.
Right.
With 7 boys, shouldn't have time for all that stuff. So
Understand.
here's your one-stop shop.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dream trip to investigate anywhere, Renee. I would have to say probably back to my roots, and that would be Germany, Ireland, Scotland, back in those areas, the castles. I would love to get over there and travel and take a look at all that and do some investigating.
Right.
Maybe someday.
You're right there, Luke. It doesn't help.
No. His house he lives in the UK that he owns over there is from the 1870s.
Yeah.
And it used to be a church.
A lot of people went through. Good
Yeah.
energies, bad energies. My house was a morgue twice. Over 1,500 bodies went through this place. So, churches, funerals, it makes a difference.
And Sally says cook with rosemary and ginger to balance everyone's energy.
Like that.
I don't like ginger.
I don't.
What?
I've never heard that.
It's good for you, and I'll chop
Yeah,
it up
that's
real
good.
fine and put it into things so I can't taste it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, but I can try it. I'll try anything once.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, not
Garlic. Love garlic. Put it in everything.
Keep away the vampires.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But will it work on energy vampires?
No,
Oh, what about werewolves?
no, it does not work on energy vamps. I have found that out. I'm not going to say how I found that out, but I have found that out.
Well, I think it's related to the story after the show.
There you go. Yeah, I
Right.
think you're right.
But yeah, things happen for reasons and all that. And I know that with Luke, one of the things that's going on there is there may be some energy from positive energy, negative energy that's hitting on each other because it was a church.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of church. I don't know if there was anything bad happened in the church, but more than likely it was probably used as a refuge.
Yeah.
During, so I would assume that there's some good and bad in there. He's putting all this stuff in here, and it was a house of God. Maybe there's some factions in there that's just not getting along.
Right.
Possible. And when those type of energies collide, it's like when you get feedback from a speaker. You're talking on the mic and you get that feedback. It's reverberation. It's not, flowing over each other. It's and
Mm-hmm.
So the event that you're doing at the Villa on the 6th, what charity is that for?
Let me check that out. I can't remember. My memory is shot. There we go, right there. Scroll back just a second here.
Because, let's see, I have to look to see when charity that mine's going for. We're going to.
Actually, I think this might be to actually help the villa itself. I believe there's some repairs and stuff that need to be done.
From the storms?
So.
Because I know that they got hit pretty hard. Well, you guys did.
$12,000.
Yeah, they
got hit
more than
good.
that.
We were kind of like, we were just on the edge of it, so we didn't get much damage here in Wymore, which is good.
Yeah. They got hit for a couple hours the other day, kept saying Atchison,
Yeah,
Atchison,
that got
Atchison.
slammed for a couple hours.
Yeah.
That was last Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was like I said, we were just on the edge of it, but north and of us. I mean, it was horrendous going through here.
Yeah, we'll be up there the following weekend.
Nice.
Yes. And I'm looking to see what charity that was for. I got a monkey.
No.
She sees me, she jumps on me.
Yeah, that's right.
Go there.
Hey, with my chair, you can't keep moving all over the place.
I can't type. So the one that I'm going to is put on by Katie and Katie Stafford.
Okay.
They're doing it with Cindy Kaza, Sarah Lemos, and what is her name? She's the mermaid medium, Jessica Potter. I had her on my show.
Okay.
And, so they're all doing different things, and Katie is going to be showing off a bunch of his equipment.
Oh, is that his ink box?
That's one of his, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Got a little cassette in it.
no, and it's supposed to be for a charity. I'm trying to get it up. As you can see, I have way more help than I need.
Understand that.
You're
So
good
Friday-
at multitasking.
So Friday the 13th, they start with their event, and that night they do an overnight. David Glidden's going to be at that, and so
That'll be good.
yeah, he's going to probably stay Saturday too and hang out with us.
Nice.
We're doing a. Let's see. They gave us like a 3-hour. They gave me an event thing for Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm trying to find out what the charity is, because she had told us directly what it was. So, darn it. Let's see.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Sally. There's actually quite a few.
I can't find it on here, and I'm not going to waste time on
David
it.
said
Yeah.
it.
What?
David just said what it was, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I forgot what it was. It's the Secrets of the Villa is what they're calling it.
Okay.
There's still some tickets available
Nice.
for the not the overnight investigation, but the investigations on Saturday night.
Okay.
And
Cool.
we got another event that we're doing in June that's for autism. in Oklahoma.
Nice.
Because I think that's important.
It is.
Mhm.
Absolutely, it is.
People need to understand that autism doesn't stop at 18.
No.
No,
It goes on
it
forever.
don't. It's on the entire life.
So, yeah, April, I do. There are some angel spirit guides out there, and they do tend to teach. I mean, you have, you don't just die and become a spirit guide. Takes a little time to learn all that stuff. So,
Yes, it does.
so sometimes you're going to end up with a Clarence.
Right.
And if you guys don't know what I mean by Clarence, if you've ever watched It's a Wonderful Life, they have to learn how to be your guide.
Yep.
So
It's like we have to learn to accept them.
this is my
Yeah,
favorite thing of the day.
Luke was telling you about the place he lives at.
Right there is
his family.
a clash of energies right there. Christianity on top of pagan lands. That's
Now, like he said, if the walls could talk, and they probably do.
probably yeah.
April, yes, you have 3, not teaching spirits. You have 2 angel guides and 1 teaching guide. So
Just listen.
yeah.
That.
So
And give them permission to help.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Don't give them permission to hinder, though. You have enough hindrances. So, and like I said, the story of me and April is a weird story, so we're not going to get into that. But
I'm glad your kids are that's good.
yeah,
Man.
Yep.
Made a mess.
Yep. So, yep, this is fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I took Ruby home, is what I did,
Uh-huh.
and Leah had to take the dog for his training lesson over at Lauren's.
Uh-huh.
And so I took Leah's car.
Because this dog is stupid.
This dog's going to be staying with us when they go to South Carolina.
Great.
Long story short, Keith already knows it. Tyler's aunt committed suicide Monday morning.
Oh.
Sorry to hear that again.
And so, and then you like I said last night, Naomi Judd on Saturday, it's just bringing a lot of awareness to all this. And what's bad is this aunt just sent a gift to Clover.
Oh.
It hasn't gotten here yet, but she had just mailed it. She had sent Tyler a message saying, I sent a gift for Clover. So they've got to go back to South Carolina, and Tyler seems to be numb to it.
Understand.
He's not processing it.
Right.
And his brother is over processing it.
Okay.
So we got a lot of emotions going on over there. And Leah's just trying to make the trip fun for the kids.
Yeah.
Again,
Definitely going.
yeah. Again, for some people, a funeral is a family reunion.
Right.
It's the only ones they get. They don't usually plan something out. And
Yeah. Family reunions are essentially a thing of the past.
we're going to one on August 13th and
Nice.
up there in Stanton,
Cool.
Iowa.
That's their house be working.
Like with my family, it was the elders that organized everything, put his address, and got the dates figured out. And once they pass, nobody carries on that torch.
Mm-mm.
And so, yeah, the only time you get together and meet anybody or see anybody is at a funeral.
Yeah, see, for us, on Ron's side of the family, we all want to just get together too much. We got a lot of us that are about the same age.
Yeah.
So we're all wanting to get together and make sure that the elders get to see everybody and all that. So, because Ron's mom she's the oldest living, she's the oldest living Bernison.
Okay.
So we're going to go do something with her and everybody who can make it. So it'll be fun. And we'll be not too far from Villisca.
Oh, there you go.
Malvern, take your pick. we may check out Des Moines at the time, go up to Marshalltown and see our friend up there, and before we go to the family reunion. So that's family reunions are important, but for some families, this is it. When somebody dies, is their only time that they go and they see everybody else. And I always have the impression that if I didn't go see them while they were alive, should I go? Why would I want to see them dead? But there's also the other thing here is supporting your family.
Sure.
Being there to hold their hand, even if it's not an emotional thing for you. Sometimes having that person just be there that's calm.
Yeah.
Takes care of everything.
Be a strong person, calm person, like you said, to keep everybody composed as much as possible through that process. Maybe tell some stories, bring some laughter to the day. So it's not all doom and gloom, but there's good memories, laughter, and smiles. That's
why these guys need to go, these kids, because they've never, Clover's never met her other grandma.
Yeah.
She's barely seen, and she's never seen anybody, else.
Right.
And then Ruby hasn't seen his grandmother since he was 6 months old.
Right.
So, and they've never met their great grandparents. I mean, they actually have great grandparents still alive on his mother's side.
That's crazy.
That's going to be an amazing thing to get pictures of them all together for that. So,
can you imagine the knowledge they hold and can pass down?
Right.
Or the crazy, I don't know.
Well,
she's walking pretty good, isn't she?
Sometimes crazy ain't so bad.
She runs.
She's been walking for 4 months.
Yeah.
Oh.
Since she was 8 months old.
You got a lot of practice.
Nice.
April, that's a little far for us to go.
What's she saying?
April, she's having a party April 6th and 7th.
Okay.
August 6th and 7th.
I'll let you pronounce that word.
On her way up. That's.
I have no clue.
I no.
Avalage. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Maybe somebody else can.
No idea.
When is National Paranormal Day this year? Is it in September?
Who made that up?
It's today.
It's today.
Yes.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, today.
Oh, I thought it was in September.
No, there is one in
That's
September.
right. That's the world's largest paranormal investigation.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Sorry.
It's Children's Day in Japan.
Oh, the same guy that did Earth Day, right?
It's Children's Day where?
In Japan.
Oh.
Irene was on there earlier and said it was national.
Well, then I guess I'm celebrating.
Yeah, you are. And
with the right.
Sakar, thank you for that. Happy National Paranormal Day. No way I'm going to butcher your first name. So,
Avi.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I work with so many people from out of the country that they give me short parts of their names and says, this is my name. And today was one of our guys, it was his anniversary, and we call him Ambar, but his name is this long, and thank God it's Ambar.
Yeah.
So, but I'm Dennis, just so you know. And every conversation, I'm Dennis.
Dennis.
Really?
And I just don't say anything about it because that's just how they see it. Is
that's hard.
They read it as a
Well, the thing is Denise looks like Dennis to them.
Sure,
absolutely. It's got to be Dennis. Oh, your 20th wedding anniversary. Oh,
congratulations!
We're hitting our 38th.
Congratulations!
So me and Carl get to share, or we and Carl get to share his birthday and our anniversary.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Same thing.
So meant to be.
It was.
But So you talked about, from what I heard, because I couldn't listen where I was at.
Uh-huh.
So you guys talked about favorite equipment. We talked about your
what you get?
Places.
We talked about our cemetery down here.
Yeah, he said that. The sand won't kill her. And we talked about, and you guys talked about your dream place to go.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about Dead Files episode, what led to it.
So she's getting into everything over there.
You can't light sand.
Yeah, did you see this, Denise? If he can't get over here, I'm going to adopt Luke.
There you go.
That's expensive. He better be
What's that?
paying.
He can pay for it.
Yeah.
I'll adopt him. We'll
Luke,
get him over here.
Look what?
he said if he can't get over there, he's going to adopt Luke.
Well, we was talking last night, and he goes, "Well, let's see. My dad is going to be 62," and I went. He goes 62 in September. I said, "I'm going to be 62 in about 3 weeks
Oh man.
and everything." And he goes, "Oh, you're as old as my dad." And then Barbara goes, "I just turned 62."
Yeah.
So we had a,
I'm turning 29.
yeah. You would have loved that show last night, Denise. He talked about the convention over in Scotland, the hackers convention.
Oh, I would have loved to have heard about it.
Oh yeah,
I got summoned at
you
the end.
did.
Yep, at the end of the show with Keith, I got summoned over to help with the kids.
Yes.
Oh,
And then we had that horrible thunderstorm that kicked up, and apparently they shut down 69 highway. There was a bunch of accidents due to the heavy downfall of rain.
I can see
yeah.
that.
So
Oh my gosh.
But he was informing us they went into the back door of Twitter to see what was going on over there since Elon bought it.
It gets in everything.
And blacklist of words have really shortened way
Yay.
down.
oh,
Revisit
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I just loved his tweet though. Basically, the one he did yesterday, telling AOC that he was shy, and
Mhm.
and if she really that basically she has a crush on him, is what he said.
That's phenomenal.
I just thought that was great because she is busy. Just
She's an idiot.
she is an idiot. I don't know how
She's dumb as a
they
box
must
of rocks.
just voted for her because it was a different name than the person that was on the ticket.
They didn't know who she
Yeah.
was. They only had
Probably.
like 4% turn out.
Mm-hmm.
That's how.
So I don't know. Maybe she made them all a drink.
No way.
So here you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was and Sally agreed. That was her favorite tweet too. So
Yeah.
So what's the furthest you've ever gone to investigate, distance wise?
Florida. We had a dead files case in Florida that I got to help the mechanics on. That was kind of my initiation.
Mhm.
Part of the process is you have to go to Scarefest and be able to do the thing. Work with clients, Reiki healing, chakra alignment, all kinds of stuff that we do. And then you also have to help assist on a large case, so we can see how you work and what you know and everything. And so, yeah, that was the furthest I ever went, and that was in, I think, Davie, Florida.
Oh, okay. And that case was on TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
I seem to recall it.
They've had quite a few in Florida.
Well, why not? Steve's right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Amy doesn't have to pack like she normally has to pack for some of those things. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
one of the things, I got a call one day. They said, yeah, the Dead Files contacted us. This was for the Sally house.
Mm-hmm.
And said, we would like for you to speak to them when they come. And I go, okay. And I said, I don't know why they would. I said, this is outside of their realm.
Yeah.
I said, Amy's already been there.
Uh-huh.
And just like she had already been to the Velisca Axelberger house.
Right.
But she did, they put a spin on that one. I said, I don't know how you can put a spin on this since, the people who live next door are college kids and they don't know they just know which can. Well, actually, I don't even think they know which end of the can of beer to drink out of.
Well, they know their spirits.
Yeah.
They're in the bottle and can over there.
There you go.
They
Yeah,
know
we're
more
having
the
fun,
beer in
right?
their ass.
But it's always been said that house is more haunted next door than the Sally house was.
But yet nobody can prove it because nobody will let them in.
Yeah.
And,
And you would figure the fraternity would let you in.
yeah, you would think they would, but no. And you know what? We never asked, but when they sold it, I talked to the people who owned it and told them some of the history of their house.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know the history of their house just as well as the Sally house.
Right.
So gave them that, and they were like, "Oh my god!"
Shove it in first.
So, but
You just give her another one.
yeah, I just gave her another one. So
She's trying to shove that whole thing
Yep.
down.
She's trying to see how orange she can turn.
There you go.
So,
Yeah, she'll wash off.
oh yeah, I'm not. Do I look concerned?
No.
Yeah.
They do make a mess.
She's just trying to figure out what all these people are doing on here.
Yeah.
She's the thing is she'll get bored and she'll want down and then she'll come back, she'll get to him, and then as soon as she sees me, she's diving.
Yep.
So,
Well, you got to remember, she's at the baby genius age.
Yes.
oh yeah. She is
They
smart.
know everything. They just can't tell us.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely. Short attention span, thinking about everything, and shiny.
Oh yeah. Right now she's just looking at the stuff on her hands going. Yeah, you can show him?
There's a
Michelle,
question for
see?
Keith.
Yeah. Actually, I've already gotten a bit placed due to some activity that some individuals were sending, but that's been taken care of. But yeah, like I said, when the fire happened, the place got overran, and I had to go in and re-cleanse it.
Okay.
And recharge the grid that was. I saw your comment earlier. That was destroyed, so we kind of recharged that, got it back up. Now it is a very, very clean, very happy place again. And as I put the house together, there will be protections laid out inside of the walls, in this place, in that place, in this particular place that nobody is going to know about, that only I know about.
Right.
Stones, crystals, sigils, this, that, the other thing to be in there. This house will be totally safe for whoever moves into it after I pass. It will be a family safe home. There will be no activity in it. As far as if I have my way, it will be flatline neutral. Here you go.
You put your own energy in there and it is what you make it. Hopefully it'll be a happy home.
Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for. That is what I'm shooting for.
No arguments and all that good stuff. And
That.
so, well, I mean,
It's like when you go to these events and stuff like that, look at what the people bring in with them.
Sure.
And
They're bringing attachments and spirit guides, and
Every Paracon we've been to has been just negative as all get out, except one. We went up to Marshalltown last summer in August.
yeah,
Best vibe I've ever seen.
Nice.
And not even close. I mean, it was good vibes. There wasn't nothing negative or anything. It was fun.
good. I bet that was a welcome change.
It was a lot different.
It's
there's no competition.
when you can feel other people's energy. A group that big is, when there's more negative than positive, it drains you. When there's more positivity than negative, it charges you. I like to put a shield around me, like with a little mirror on it, energy shield, and just kind of reflect everything away from me. And that way I can just be there kind of invisible to everybody and do my own thing.
well, it's like when I helped them do the tours up there at the Sally house.
Yeah.
You could feel the difference when different people came through the rooms, different down the basement into the house. The house would change.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely see that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
I mean,
you
Yeah,
looking
we
at
were
300 people coming through in 4 hours.
That's a lot.
Yeah, we were.
That's a lot of spirits coming with people.
When it was really active, we were pretty much wiped out by 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
here,
I can
here.
see that. And who's to say that some person does not bring an entity in with them?
No, that was from the house.
To stay.
The house would just tear us up.
One from the house that reattaches to them, and it's just kind of like a rotation. You never know who's in there, what's going on, who's going to do what.
Or who was just in there making a mess and
Or
irritating the life out
who
of me.
wanted to bring the baby in as a
Trigger
Yeah.
object.
trigger
That was
object?
dumb.
Yeah.
I ended up holding William for probably 2 hours while the mother, whatever it is she was doing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So she just let me have him. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
okay. I just
Here
wouldn't
you
let her
go.
use the trigger object. She wanted to take the baby upstairs in the nursery.
We're down in the basement.
Like, no.
We're down in the basement one time, and these girls come down. They're carrying a Ouija board, and I went,
No.
that ain't going to fly here.
No.
I know it's a divination tool, just like every other one, and as long as you do it correctly, generally you're safe. But I have experiences, and so
they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, then that's a no. That's a big nope.
Right.
Yeah, they
Bucket of nope soup.
no.
Especially in a public setting
Yeah,
like that.
that was stupid.
Yeah.
And
You
to
don't
answer
bring
Renee's question, I really don't know. I'm kind of reforming a dream team right now, and Renee, you are on it. So there you go. Renee is also a member of Cobra Paranormal. She is one of our words. Boom! It's stuck right there. Researchers.
Ah.
So researching is one of the biggest parts of the paranormal.
Right.
Yes,
That-
it's huge. You got to know the history of the family and the property,
Yeah.
and it's huge. She is actually finding out a lot of information about my house and property that even Steve from the Dead Files did, and his crew did not find.
Well,
So,
because
the
they
gals-
they only have so long that they can look.
Right.
She, on the other hand, can pull up all these other things.
Continue, and
Right.
one leads to this, and one leads to that. That's why Denise has got a file like this on the Sally house.
Yeah.
And it leads me to the stories at the McIntyre Villa and the Eva C. Cray home, the true birthplace of Amelia Earhart, all that research led me to all these different things. And not only that, it also led me back to Alton, Illinois, where I'm a volunteer at the McPike Mansion. The McPike Drug Company was founded in Atchison, and it was the brother of Henry McPike.
Okay. Oh wow.
So basically, it went full circle, and a lady in Atchison actually put the McPike Drug Company on the historic register. And she knew a lot about the McPike family here in Atchison, or not here in Atchison, up in Atchison. And Sharon, who owns McPike Mansion, knows quite a bit too. So I've been trying to get them to meet. It just never happens because of people living in different places. But I always used to tell people, I said, one of the things that you can do is you take a map of Missouri, fold it over, and when you fold that map over, Alton, Illinois is on top of Atchison, and they share a very similar history of the railroad. If the railroad had gone through in different places, one might have been St. Louis and one might have been Kansas City.
Do you know if there's one ley line going through both towns?
I don't know anything about the ley lines.
Okay, might be something to check into.
I mean, I don't know how the ley lines go. I don't think that they go, longitudinal and latitudinal. I think
They go their own way.
Right.
But there are maps of them out there that you can look up.
I would have to look at that and see. But it was strange how their histories were so similar. And, and a lot of people don't know.
They're not huge in the ley lines. I think that's why that's kind of coincidence.
It may just be conjecture. So, because we can't prove or disprove it.
Correct.
That's one of the things. So, did you know about the Muddy Creek massacre? No, I did not. Because April, I don't know.
Where's that?
In
Yeah,
the
where
Roach
was
family history in 1760.
That's my grandmother.
Oh,
My grandmother's family.
that's what I thought.
Yes, we were a bunch of roaches. Which is
Muddy
probably
Creek
why I get
Massacre,
into
it sounds like
everything.
that was down in Kentucky or Tennessee.
It would probably have been Virginia, to be
Yeah, it
honest.
could have been.
Because Gretna, Virginia is kind of like in the middle. Grandma was buried. My dad, and my dad's dad are all buried in Gretna. And my dad is buried next to my grandma. My grandfather is buried on the other side of the street. I guess you don't put the guy who killed both of them next to him.
No,
Some sort of etiquette, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
I would definitely say.
But yeah, it's straight north of Danville. So not in the center of the state, but it's not easy to get to. So
She found it
you
on
found it this week.
Ancestry.
Yeah, I just started on Ancestry, so I'm gonna see how far I can't delve into my history. Sally,
I also
What about
used the other
Muddy
one.
Creek Massacre. Was
was that?
their family got murdered, or they
I don't
pretended
know.
murdering?
Yeah.
The massacre.
Who did the killing, April? Was it the roaches or was
I'm gonna bet on your family.
Sally says Keith has a small box with energy attached to it.
She's not wrong. I've actually got a few.
Really?
And they are very specific. Yes.
1763.
Native American.
Okay, so that would make sense at the time. 1763 is what I'm finding here, and West. No, let's see.
What are you doing there? What are you doing, little Clover?
Now I'm going to get all interested in this, and
I know.
I'm going to figure it out. So
Now she'll be tracking this down.
You guys
well, it's one of those
that
things.
must be a family thing
I just want to know
your
why.
family. They like the sidetrack.
Who, whatever, all that stuff. I want to know the who, what's, where's, and how it got.
Little
Very close, Sally.
Barry Roach family. 3 by 4 by 6.
It might be Mariah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
Yeah, she has a real good gift too.
Yes. Yes, she does.
Yeah, she's one of our hosts. Her and you'll see Jailbird in there and Tina Garcia, and they'll be on the next show right after ours on the Billerites Network. They do the conservative view.
Okay.
So
you know what? This quite possibly could be in West Virginia. So I'm gonna have to research that and find out.
Which was Virginia.
that'll be interesting to
which
research.
was Virginia back then, because West Virginia didn't break off until the Civil War.
Yeah.
And the Little Bira Roach family, is that how you pronounce that?
It's either Mariah. I don't know. So I'll find out. I'll know more by tomorrow, probably.
There you go.
So it says New Kent, Virginia.
That's what you need.
I don't have time.
Extra stuff.
I have so much work to do that
doesn't amount to crap.
Yep, don't amount to crap. Trying to find a new boss. In the meantime, the old boss called me today to ask me some stupid questions, and I answered stupidly. I answered stupid questions.
There you
Thank
go.
God I didn't put. Thank God I didn't put on my thing that only stupid people ask stupid questions.
Right. But I like what Renee says there. The research has answered a lot of questions. If you go investigate first and then research, that's when it answers questions. If you research first, it's already in your mind. That's what you're going to see, and that's what you're going to hear. I like doing it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it. If unless it's a family is living in the location, I would much rather go in with the knowledge of the location.
Got that sucker.
Oh, she's fine with the sucker.
Mm.
The entire family was killed by Native Americans.
Well, I guess that says. See, my mom's side of the family is Native American. My dad's side, I didn't find any Native American in it at all.
Really?
So is that true? I don't know. But when I was looking, I didn't find anything. But I stopped looking a long time ago, only because April's been doing it. I'll just let her do it.
There you go.
Why waste my time?
Yeah. Got 7 kids.
Yeah, she's only got 7 kids.
Yeah, she got 7 boys.
Got nothing else to do.
Yeah. She's got her hands full.
She needs something to occupy her mind when she's trying to get away from the kids.
Tell the boys, we're looking up your ancestry.
Hey,
here,
take the boys out Bigfoot hunting. That'll keep them busy.
Well, she said there was Bigfoot up there
I
in
know.
the neck of the woods.
Oh, yeah. Wisconsin's kind of
Known
big
for
area
that.
for it.
In fact, I will have on. I'm trying to reschedule all those shows, and I have to get the Bigfoot Fact and Fiction rescheduled, and that's going to be the hardest one since I had 3 people on that one. So I got to get that rescheduled. So.
And Denise Bigfoot hunts at our cemetery.
Yeah.
I sit in my chair with my stick and hit the tree.
Yeah. And she hits the tree and clunks it.
There you go.
Yep.
See if you can't conjure something up there.
Yeah.
Well, there's nobody out there. I mean, we were out there for, what was it, about 18 hours?
Yeah.
Didn't see any other cars besides ours.
Right.
So you can't get that in a lot of places. So there's no
No, and
contamination.
the only thing you're going to hear out there, it depends on the time of year, is bugs.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Well-
you don't hear nothing.
Yep.
Is it
It's
possible
quiet.
you might hear the little shake of a tail?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Of a
and
rattlesnake?
you might hear a train, which
I
is
actually have heard the trains a few times out there.
yeah. But other than that, you don't hear partying at anybody's houses. You don't hear
No,
tractors.
no.
You don't hear none of that out there.
Just dead silent.
Oh, it's dead silent.
Yeah, that's good.
People go,
It's a
"How
great
can you
place to
sleep in a cemetery?" And I say, "I sleep just perfectly nice, calm, and still."
It's graveyard still.
That's right.
Best place, you know. And another thing, that's a really good place to make your own moonshine. Nobody goes out there.
No, well, the game wardens do because they're watching for that guy poaching.
Right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're not looking for liquor.
Me and Pastor Gary was down there
Oh,
investigating
we making
and
liquor out there.
everything, and we just
Yeah,
got out,
I said,
and
That's
I
what we
seen
do.
this buck, so I'm watching it in my camera, right?
Yeah.
And I'm everything, and I'm going, "Wow, nice wreck on him and everything." Here comes his pickup, and I jokingly said to Gary, I said, "Oh, look, it's a game warden." Sure enough, game warden pulls up. We go over. We tell him what we're doing. He goes, "That's all right." He says, "Now there'll be another game warden coming up here." We had two of the biggest game wardens up in our neck of the woods covering this, and they were telling us about the poacher out there
Oh, okay.
and stuff. The guy that's got the timber around us
Mm-hmm.
because he baits the deer, and they know
Oh
it.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
guy we ran into that
Yeah.
one morning.
So we
wasn't it?
showed him. We said, "Now there's tracks where he drives over our cemetery to go through down in the timber." And everything. And they go, "Well, those aren't all his tracks." They go, "We come out here and back up and sit down in there and wait for him." And I
Oh.
went, "Okay, no problem. Then I won't put the board out with the nails sticking up through it,
That.
and all this good stuff."
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, you don't see nobody drive out by there.
No.
I mean, it's in Caldwell County, it's the deadest place there is.
Oh, that smells.
She found her brother's sucker.
Oh, that
Oh,
smells
she did.
good.
Yeah,
She
it was
did.
in a covered dinosaur,
Till she fell.
Oh.
and it
Yeah.
came out of there. So now she's enjoying it. So it looks like bath time.
Now
Yeah.
you're up there in Nebraska. Have you ever been to Melbourne Manor over in Iowa?
Yeah. Love Melbourne. Been there a few times.
Yeah.
That's actually where I had one of my first visions. I was sitting there in the hallway meditating, listening, and boom, there it was. So that was interesting. But it's a pretty active place. And as long as you treat things with, respect, entities with respect, you get treated back with respect most of the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, unless you take off your clothes and then they decide that they want to scratch you.
I'm sorry, what?
Take off your clothes and then they decide they want to scratch you.
That
Well,
happened to
yeah,
Denise.
that's kind
And
of a
throw
thing.
big fat drill bits at you.
I
did
was
that too.
I was
me.
downstairs. I was downstairs in the nursing station, just standing there minding my own business, doing an EVP session. And next thing I know, something grabs a hold of my hand. I can feel it. I'm like, okay, let's check this out. Maybe somebody's scared, and I'm talking to. Next thing I know, I got an arm around me. I'm getting a hug. I'm like, okay. And next thing you know, my body's doing this. I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm out. Nope, we ain't doing that. I gave Josh a hard
It
time.
was a really big dog.
You
Is that
oughta
what you're
make-
saying? It was a really big dog?
I told Josh that I gave him a hard time. You ought to make I got molested at Malvern t-shirts. And so I go,
Well, like I said,
Oh my gosh.
I was sitting there. I had changed into something more because it was snowing when we were there. Way back when, right after Malvern had just opened. So this was forever ago.
November.
Yeah.
November. Six years
Yeah,
ago.
3 times we've been. 3 of the 4 times we went up there, it snowed.
Yeah.
So,
Now we
but
went there in the July the other time, so we
110.
make sure it didn't
Yeah.
snow.
It was
Well, we were crossing
110.
our fingers that it wouldn't anyway.
The rest time we go up there, it's cold.
Yep.
so
But,
and
yeah,
Renee
Denise had a
asked,
drill bit thrown at her up there.
yeah, I mean,
Doesn't
it
surprise
was
me.
this,
What?
It was- So Renee asks, what is the most bizarre paranormal concept that you are willing to entertain?
To me,
she
nothing.
says jinn
There you go.
or shadow people
She's
or shadow people.
To me, nothing is out of the realm of possibility. I have dealt with jinn. I have dealt with fae. I have dealt with things that I don't have names for. I tend to deal with the lower level entities, if you know what I mean. And not everything that looks big, black, dark, and scary is. Some things they are here. They have a job to do. They are protectors of sacred objects. You leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. You've got demons. Well, you've also got daemons. Very similar. However, daemons have a job to do here. Don't mess with them. They won't mess with you. I've ran into some very interesting, I'm just going to say, characters. And I'll say this. To me, in my opinion, with what I've dealt with and seen, heard, dealt with, it's all real. These stories started somewhere, somehow. All these fairy tales started somewhere, somehow. And usually there's a little bit of truth in there somewhere if you can find it.
Yeah, you got to dig through it to find it.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to go. I think somebody needs to get a quick bath. So
Okay.
I'm going to tell everybody where they can find me. Right now, you can't find me anywhere but here. But hopefully, soon you'll be able to find me on WBHM-DB.com out of Birmingham, Alabama on the Paranormal Pride. And look forward to new shows. If not this month, hopefully next month. It's just I'm that screwed up with work right now that I want to lose my job because of a radio show.
Correct.
Right.
You don't put much time in.
I don't put much time into the radio show, honestly.
Pretty much
it's not hard. It's just getting everything together is the problem.
Sure.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
but and please check out everything that's going on with Keith and check. Carl, do you have the information on the event on June 25th?
No, I haven't got that up here yet. I got to get that.
Didn't he send it to you?
I sent it to Carl.
Yes, she did. And I haven't
So,
got it up. I've been busy.
We'll get that taken care of. So we're going to be promoting that event. So if you guys want to know more about it, send me a message. I'll tell you where to find it. But we're going to go. We're going to give somebody a little bath before I go get mommy from dog training.
There you go.
So you guys have a great night. And thank you, Keith, so much for being on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Been fun.
Yeah.
So, sorry I couldn't be more interactive today.
No,
Oh,
that's
you're
all right.
fine.
That's
You're
all
fine,
right.
Denise.
We understand.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
Love you, April.
Yeah. She's got a busy life.
Yes,
The
she does.
grandma, a close by grandma with the grandkids. And yeah,
Yep.
it's quite the deal. But
I got grandkids of my own. I completely understand.
I know. And I've got great grandkids. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I got little great grandkids and they're down in North Carolina.
Okay. All right. It'll be a bit before I get those, but
Well, I started young. What can I say? But
more of that.
no, my kids did real good. I got a son over in Greece and stuff with his wife. She's in charge of something over there that's got the whole area over there she's in charge of.
Nice.
And he's a stay-at-home dad.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I played Mr. Mom for a while myself, and
Right.
it turned out better than okay. So
Well, when she's making a mid six-figure income, dad can stay at home.
absolutely raise those
And the
kids
company,
right.
the company she works for, gave them. Oh, how would I describe this? A mansion, right? It's
Okay.
got 80 acres. It's got a tennis court, swimming pools. It's a 8-bedroom mansion, right over in Greece. Gave them 2 brand new Land Rovers to drive.
Wow.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, stay over there. Don't be a fool. Run it for as long as it's going to run.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I have to agree with you totally on that one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's that way. Yeah, I know, Luke, you're a stay at home. Yeah, Luke's. You'll have to check out one of our shows when Luke's on there with us and everything. Like I said, he's a as he describes it, he's a white hacker.
Sure. Absolutely.
The companies call him
Yep.
to break in and then tell them how to fix it.
Yep. Find them backdoors they don't know about and get them locked shut.
Right. Yeah. So very, very intelligent young man. Very intelligent young man.
Cool. Congratulations, man. That's cool. That's awesome.
He's the one that's a United States citizen and a UK citizen.
Yeah.
And he can't get into the United States.
That upsets me. I mean, that shouldn't be that big of a deal.
No, he comes in legally trying to come in and can't get in, and all these illegals are coming across the southern border, and they go right in.
Yes. You are not mistaken there.
Oh, I know, and it's going to get worse down there when they lift this Title 42.
It's been worse, and they're hiding the fact.
Oh, yeah, they are. We have a lot of shows that cover different things down there and what's going on in Washington, D.C. and everything. And we do Second Amendment Ranch where all your gun rights and everything, you know.
Yeah.
But, we do a lot over here. But this border situation down there and what we've got, we talk a little politics on here every once in a while. But what we got up there in Washington, D.C. is the biggest joke in the world.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I mean,
I do.
I'm 62 years old, and I never thought in my lifetime I would see something that's supposed to be in charge of our country that we're supposed to be proud of, and it's totally opposite.
Yeah. You know, and whoever is running things, because the person in office is not running things.
And he has said it.
In my opinion,
yeah.
Whoever's running it, deep state has objectives other than the United States' best interest, and we need to get somebody else back into that office as soon as possible.
Exactly.
Leave it there.
All I can say right now is I know the midterms, we're going to take over the House and the Senate and everything, but we don't take position until January. Mm-hmm. We have to keep old Joe healthy enough to stay until January.
Yeah, because we don't want Kamala in there.
And I don't want Pelosi as vice president.
No, that would be even more detrimental than what we have right now.
Yeah, because I got a funny feeling that Pelosi, the old power-hungry witch she is, and everything, would knock off Harris and become president and issue martial law. And in this country, martial law will be held up by the UN, not by our military.
Yeah, because our military
can't do it
and won't do it. Most of them won't.
No. But you look at all the UN vehicles we have scattered all over the United States and
Blue
UN
hats.
people.
Blue hats, yeah. Blue helmets.
It's spooky, scary.
It's gonna be interesting. Thankfully I was just able to replace some boomsticks, I'll say.
Okay.
That, I lost in the fire, and I upgraded a little bit. So that's a good thing.
Well, it's like a buddy of mine and everything. He has a lot of weapons that unfortunately he lost in a boating accident that we show. So we talk about that stuff, but I mean, it's what's going on, but we try to keep everybody informed on their gun rights and laws in all 50 states. Yeah, and that's how Luke got involved with us over in the UK, because he started telling us what their laws were.
Right.
And we're showing people going, if you don't open your eyes, this is what's going to happen.
Not wrong. Not wrong. And it's very important if you have, like, say, okay, I'm in Nebraska, you have to have a concealed carry permit in Nebraska, okay? And other states do as well. So it's very important to know your laws in other states as you're traveling through.
Right.
Because some states allow open carry. You don't need a permit.
That's what we do.
There is nothing, and you're going to get put away. So
we actually open carry and conceal. Mm-hmm. And you don't need, used to, you had to get a CCW permit to conceal carry. You don't have to anymore. They recommend you do, to cover your P's and Q's.
Sure.
But you don't have to. You can open carry in a shoulder holster, hip
Yeah.
holster. You can actually walk down the street with an AR-15
Yeah.
strapped across your shoulder as
Yeah.
long as there's no clip in it.
Correct. But naturally, you got to draw attention to yourself.
Oh, are you going to draw? You're going to draw attention to every cop there is in the neighborhood. They're going, why are you walking? Because I can.
Right. And people
Yeah.
have, and some were good cops and said, "Hey, man, that's cool. I understand. You want to see mine? Let me see yours. I'll show you mine." Others, they don't want no part of it. And,
No. Luckily, I live in a small community up here that the sheriff's department loves everybody, and if you walk in, it's just like I'm a part owner of a restaurant up here.
Okay.
Right. Okay. We have a bar in there.
Sure.
You can carry a firearm in there if you have permission.
Okay.
In the state of Missouri.
All right.
Right. Because I carry one while I'm up there bartending.
Sure.
And everything. But once you take a drink, you can't have that weapon on you at any time.
That makes sense.
And I've got a couple of friends. One of our guy hosts on one of our shows. He comes in with his 1911 45 on there and everything. Everybody looks. They don't say a word because they know they're protected when they come inside this building.
That's important. Another thing that I did is I got concealed carry insurance through USCCW, and let's just say I've got enough to cover whatever aspect I may need it to.
Yeah, whatever you need on it.
Yeah, that's important as well, because if you are forced into a situation, especially in Nebraska, we don't have a castle law. If you can get out of the situation, that's what you're supposed to do first. Somebody pulls a gun, puts it right here. You're supposed to say, turn around and run. No, sorry, we'll deal with it later. So yeah, know your laws and look up that insurance. It may just save you a lot later.
Right. And, it goes with the paranormal. We were invited to do an investigation with two other teams of an old hospital in downtown Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
We had to go through this old building with guns and clear it first.
Doesn't surprise me. Probably a lot of
Vagrants. We went by two rooms and I said, hold it, guys. We got to put chairs in front of these doorways. There were 3 foot tall mounds, 5 foot in diameter of hypodermic needles.
Oh.
And I'm like, we got to block this off so nobody trips and falls in there.
Yeah. Can you imagine what would have happened?
Oh, God. Ooh, the thought of it. The elevator shafts were open and full of water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, tape them off, put chairs in front of them, tell everybody if there's a chair in front of an opening, don't go past it.
And it's okay to investigate with the lights on. The spirits don't care if the lights are on or up.
No.
So if you're in a dangerous situation, leave your lights on so you can see what you're doing.
Exactly. Don't walk around in the dark.
Yeah.
All it does is add a scary feature to it.
That is for
spirits. If they want to talk to you,
they're going
to talk to you in the light.
Yeah.
They're going to talk to you in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's all your TV shows. They want to show you in night vision and dark and everything because that gets their viewership.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we catch a lot more activity during the daytime than we do at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is if you see it in the daytime with your eyes, there's something there.
Yeah.
So, well, Keith, we're getting to the time. I want to thank you very much for coming on Paranormal Nation Radio.
Thank you for having me. Blessed.
Yeah, anytime you want to come on, talk, you're more than welcome. Just
Appreciate
contact me or Denise or over here at the Bill of Rights Network, and we can do it.
All right, sounds great.
Tell everybody where they can find you on your show.
Okay, Facebook. I am under Cobra Paranormal and also the Otter's Den. And then we also share the show out on a place called Free Spirited. And then I also have a YouTube page called naturally the Otter's Den, where I share some stuff too. And we're going to the Cobra Paranormal team as we gather evidence. We've also got a website, Cobra Paranormal. We're going to start putting some of that evidence up on that website as we progress with getting the team back together and stuff. So.
Well, great.
Oh, also Spirit Mechanics on Facebook. Go give them a like.
Sure will. So I want to thank everybody in the chat room for joining us. Great questions tonight, folks, and everything. But stay tuned to the Billerites Network over here. Here in 30 minutes will be the Conservative View with Barbara, Sally, and Tina on there. You got to listen. They've got some really good stuff to bring out tonight. So, again, I want to thank everybody for showing us, and we will see you next week here on Paranormal Nation Radio. Have a good evening.
Thank you.